But welcome to the show, guys. Hope you guys are having a great day, a great week, great month. And we would like to thank everybody that's listening. Appreciate you guys. You hear an episode that connects and relates to you, share it, tell a friend to tell a friend. And let's get going here. Some of the topics we'll be talking about. We got the Cameroonian Football Association, the standards and guidelines of how you can join, how you can own a team over there. Things are changing. The continent of Africa, Cameroon is trying to modernize football in the continent of Africa. They may succeed, but there may be some trials and tribulations ahead. Also, we got Brittany Spears bumping into Victor Wembenyama, the number 1 draft pick that went to the Spurs. And then we got the NFL trying to rearrange the run pass option play. I have some ideas how teams are going to change it, how teams are going to work with it, but we'll speak on it. And then also the NFLPA's president, DeMaurice Smith, decided, it behooved the NFL to get rid of the Rooney Rule. Just like the Supreme Court got rid of affirmative action recently. We'll talk on a little bit of affirmative action as well, because it connects to the Rooney Rule. So, Andrew.
Yes.
The first topic at hand. Would be the NFL trying to tell basically teams how to play the run pass option.
Mm-hmm.
A running back cannot be in front of the quarterback, and if they're in front of the quarterback when the quarterback runs a play, it's an incomplete. It's what's it called? It will be a penalty because it's a forward pass. It will be an illegal forward pass, and things are gonna get real tricky here.
Hate it. Hate the rule.
You hate the rule?
I hate it.
Okay. What do you hate about it?
Because you had a lot of good play action plays, and the running back. It also valued the running back even more, because once that short pass got to them, then they would maneuver run through the defensive line and have some really great break runs. Those are going to be gone now.
Well, there's always a draw run where you stalemate, shove it in the running back's hand.
And not as fun.
Not
as fun as just a quick pass, catches it, runs. I remember a lot of those with Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly.
Well, no, the run pass option plays is you're not going in the right direction. The run pass option plays have to do with the threat that there's 2 runners or 2 pass catchers. Mm-hmm. One of them could be you lob the ball to the running back as they come in front of you, or you pass it to the receiver that's going across the middle of the field or that's going up, because it forces the defense to have to make a quick decision, and it forces the defense to commit. Either come in deep with the blitz via the edge rusher and the Mike linebacker, or commit to the pass. It forces the defense has to be defined. Basically, that's what the run pass option does distinctly for the quarterback and the defender. The defender has to pick which route they want to go.
Of course.
Defend the pass or defend the run. So the running backs being in front of the quarterback now is going to be different. Maybe they'll find a way to have them, to line up to have the running back come off the side where, they're basically an inch behind. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how this all works out. It's going to be interesting though. It's going to be heavy. But teams are very creative, and they're very, they have intelligent staff members. They could come up with a different way to make this work. Because there's some teams last year that ate off of the RPO. One of them ended up in the Super Bowl, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. They ate off their RPO. Jalen Hurts ran the ball often or threw it deep on an RPO play. So it worked great for them. And also the Eagles did this rugby scrum thing that also worked great for them last year, and that's also been non-void. They've decided to basically get rid of that as well. No rugby scrums in football because it was a guaranteed first down. It was guaranteed yards, and if you're in the end zone, it's a guaranteed touchdown. The rugby scrum that they did in Philly. Mm-hmm. But football is evolving, ever evolving, because they want to entertain the fans and they want to gear the game more towards offense. But in this new ruling, they might have to change their mind on it because we want points. Offense want points, and how are you going to get points if you're not allowing players to be creative or teams to be creative? But teams will have to be creative due to this ruling. The running back cannot be in front of the quarterback anymore. It will be an illegal forward pass. But what also gets me thinking is the what's it called? The forward pass, the toss. When a receiver is running a jet sweep and the quarterback is right here and he tosses it. Mm-hmm. Tosses it to the receiver. The receiver immediately becomes a runner, but not a running back and play, but he becomes a runner in a jet sweep, and that's considered a forward pass. The toss, the quick toss in between the quarterback and the receiver. So people are gonna just have to get creative. We'll see how that goes. I wish them luck. It'd be entertaining for us, the fans. Real entertaining. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I feel like a lot of I don't understand why they're going to try to get rid of the rule. It's already been established in the league for so long, and it's part of, you're talking about getting anything more creative, but there's already 1,000 plays there you guys already have in their playbooks as it is. So you can get creative if you want. So what is the real reason why they're getting rid of this in the first place? Is it injuries?
Probably. It's
I don't really see a whole point to this to begin with.
Well, we will learn more about it as the season goes on, as we continue to listen to ESPN, Fox News, and whoever else is out there. I'm sure somebody spoke about the real reason. Some insiders spoke about the real reason, and we'll find out later. Us, the common folk.
I don't really particularly like it, but
Josh Allen eats off of RPOs. Tua eats off of RPOs. Basically, all the new quarterbacks have success on the RPOs because they use them in college a lot. So that's gonna be.
Is that gonna hurt the running quarterback?
Yes, it can, because you either gotta beat them from the pocket now, or basically have them pull it down.
So maybe that's what they're grooming for the future, because we're seeing people like Tua, who is a great talent.
Tua's not a runner. Don't put him out there. There's the guy from
Justin Fields.
No,
Chicago too.
No, Justin Fields. The running quarterbacks that could benefit, that are going to be hurt by this, would be Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson. You got the guy Anthony Richardson, recently drafted number 2 in the Colts organization. You got Josh Allen. Right. You got Jalen Hurts. So you got quite a few quarterbacks that are, that are not your traditional under center quarterbacks that are gonna, have to calm it down a little bit. Right. So Lamar Jackson's gonna have to be creative in the pocket. Josh Allen's gonna have to be creative in the pocket. They're basically trying to have guys, the quarterbacks out here beat you from the pocket, I guess, instead of, as a rookie, just taking off and running.
It's just how
most
football was, and at least when I was growing up in the 90s. I mean, Randall Cunningham was the exception at the time.
Not just Randall Cunningham. You got...
he was more of the running quarterback in the... but he had a nice arm, too.
You got Steve Young also.
Yeah, you're right. Steve Young, too, yeah.
And Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, he came out in, 98, 99?
Yeah.
Late 90s.
So,
And then Michael Vick.
Definitely Michael Vick. The change of an era. He changed everything when he came into football. So, I mean, the quarterbacks now that are relying upon the RPOs will have to get more creative or get your nose in that book. Speaking of Michael Vick, there was a post on the Bills Facebook group. Mm-hmm. Michael Vick said Andy Reid's the greatest coach ever, and had he just Michael Vick basically came out in the wrong era. Had Michael Vick came out now, he would have been dangerous.
Yes.
Super dangerous, because him and Andy, sheesh.
Yeah, that would have been.
And all those speedy receivers, it would have been over for the league. It would have been lighting everybody up. But things happen how they may. And Patrick Mahomes gets to benefit from that. So it all works out. But on to the next subject at hand here. We got the NFL, the NFLPA. DeMaurice Smith, the NFLPA president, DeMaurice Smith, he's going to step down. But before he does, he decided to write a memorandum basically saying, hey guys, get rid of the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule basically allows, the Rooney Rule is put in place so that minorities could get an opportunity to get jobs. It's basically the affirmative action for football, where minorities have to be considered. And it comes right in time, I guess, with the Supreme Court's ruling of nullifying the affirmative action in colleges. So race cannot be determined upon which your recommendation, your acceptance of the college is determined. So because I'm a black man, they can't take that to be a reason to give me to Harvard, to get me to MIT, to get me to Stanford. That can't be it. It needs to be based upon my merits, basically, stuff like my GPA, my work in the society, work in the community, whether it's volunteering, volunteering cleaning up the community, volunteering helping out at soup kitchens, being a Boy Scout, or helping out young kids. Those need to be the criteria that determine whether or not I get accepted to an Ivy League college. So, it's going to be interesting. But DeMaurice Smith says the organization's basically team owner decides who gets hired. Yeah. So they need to get rid of the Rooney Rule, and they need to have an outside source that's monitoring how teams are going about hiring coaches, and how teams are going about whether there's a uniform way to look at every position. And there needs to be a lot more transparency. Like, I've been an offensive coordinator all my life, and they're like, well, we're only looking at offensive coordinators. And all of a sudden, head coaching job comes open, and I've been an offensive coordinator for 15 years, and they all of a sudden hire a defensive guy. And that's been doing the job for maybe a year or two, because mainly he's a white man. So those things need to change. They need to have a more uniform process. That was some of the stuff that was in DeMaurice Smith's memorandum. Like, you have to have a uniform way of posting the job, a uniform language of which the qualifications are posted. So you need to have had like 5 years of experience. That's not what it said in this packet. I'm just speaking in general. You need to have 5 years of experience. I've worked with the quarterback, or have worked with the defensive backs for a certain amount of years, and have been in the league for maybe your player years for so many years and whatnot. Just a uniform set of qualifications.
Before you can, in other words, you have to accomplish this and this and this in order to be qualified to be a head coach.
Yes. So it can't just be, we drink together. Jeff Saturday, you want to be a head coach? That can't be a thing.
Should that be the same thing for broadcasters?
That could be broadcasting. They've gotten a lot better. Fox Sports hired.
But a lot of them hired just ex-players. Like, a lot of these people didn't go to like broadcasting schools. They didn't internship at like W490 in Jacksonville. Or like a lot of these other people working off hours, working from like 3 a.m. to 7 shifts. They just get in and they roll in and they make 6-figure, 7-figure jobs just because they play in the NFL. While all these other people that were in broadcasting schools and they're getting overlooked all the time, and they have the actual skills and talents that they did to work their way into broadcasting school and to become a broadcaster, they're getting overlooked just because they didn't play in the NFL.
Well, Andrew, in this day and age, anybody can be a broadcaster. Whether or not you have an audience, look at us, right?
All right.
Anybody can be a broadcaster.
So then maybe they could be a coach. I mean, really, this isn't it's not physics.
No.
Why can't you just be a head coach?
You can't be a head coach. I play Madden. I can't be a head coach.
Why? No, really, like why couldn't you be a head coach?
Because there's so much more that goes into being a head coach.
Like?
You're coming up with schemes. You're managing personalities.
Yeah, but managing personalities, that's just a people skill.
No, managing personalities, people skill, but also managing schemes, putting up a game plan for that opponent or the other opponent over there, or a certain player. You have your staff.
Okay, but why would you need X amount of years as an offensive or defensive coordinator, plus you had to do this in order to actually come up with schemes? That could be that's something you can learn within maybe a couple of years.
Sure, but they're putting that in place because they're over. There's some people that are jumping the steps to being a head coach. And you and I got a camera, I got a mic, I got a laptop. I can broadcast myself.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I can't just all of a sudden decide today when I'm sitting, I'm gonna go coach the Buffalo Bills. I can't. It'd be a disaster. That's what I'm saying. But if you have enough passion and you want to be a broadcaster.
But if you're a billion dollar owner, right? And he knows you. He's known you for years.
Yep.
And he's like, you know what? I know you've never been given the opportunity to do something like this, but I think you're really smart. I really like how you handle people in groups. Fuck it. Why don't you be my head coach?
I wouldn't believe in myself enough to do it.
Okay, but that would be you. But
Yes.
somebody else who might go, yeah, I think I could do this.
So, okay, me being honest with myself, I'd be like, no, thank you. Because the fear of messing up, the fear of if I do this job and I mess up really bad, I will never get another opportunity again. That'd be me. That'd be my conscience.
Okay, well, don't.
Because you all of a sudden, it's like you're driving a Honda Civic. It's like you're driving a Honda Civic and all of a sudden they're like, hey, here's a key to a Lamborghini.
Right.
Stick shift.
Right.
What do? You take it?
I did. Yeah,
At the risk of killing yourself? Because that's what's happening.
I'm not going to go 80, 90 miles an hour.
You might be tempted to, because this car can.
It could be good.
You would be like, oh shoot, let me see how fast it can go. Let me try to shift, stall out, whatever. For the sake of embarrassing myself and not being able to put my best foot forward, I wouldn't take that position. I wouldn't take that opportunity, because it's an opportunity, but it's a double-edged sword. If I don't do well due to the lack of my knowledge, they won't say it's due to the lack of my knowledge. They would say it's due to the incompetence of me.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay.
So I can't be a coach. They can't make me be an NFL coach.
I just think they're not going to make you. No one's going to make you be an NFL coach.
Nobody's going to hire me to be an NFL coach. I play a ton of Madden, but that means
you will coach the Jacksonville Jaguars. No!
So
I'm not going to London. I don't care about playing the Chiefs.
Or Germany. That's happening now too. But yeah, so DeMaurice Smith is trying to basically have a uniform way, but I agree with them, but they shouldn't get rid of the Rooney Rule. They should put it in conjunction, have a uniform way of posting the jobs, uniform qualifications, so that way it's the same everywhere for every organization. And he was also talking about there's no just to fulfill the Rooney Rule, hey, Amadou's in-house, so let's just interview him and get it over with. You can't do that. You need to get a candidate that's qualified for the position, that has that could potentially land a job, come interview for the job. Not just, we got somebody here that could, maybe, might be, fit the cap. Let's bring them on in. They don't want you to do that. So that's where I stand on the Rooney Rule. I feel like DeMaurice Smith has its points, but they shouldn't, just like affirmative action, they took it away and they said, we should judge you on your merits. But now, if they only judge you on your merits, what happens is the legacies, your kids could go to a university that my kids can't go to because you've donated millions of dollars. Then what? if it's between if it's between a minority and somebody that's donated millions of dollars to that school foundation, that kid whose parents have donated lots of money gets to come in.
Yeah, no doubt. Throw down on millions of dollars. Why not?
Throw down millions of dollars and you're alumni to the university. Your kid gets to have first dibs. Whereas my kid wouldn't get first dibs. It's an afterthought after the afterthought. So affirmative action, yeah. The Republicans are saying, yeah, it's great. Oh, look at my two kids. They went to college based upon their merits. Sure, but some of you also could afford to take your kids and put them in these universities and pay the $60,000 a year that it may take, or the $50,000 a year that it may take for tuition to live on campus, to go to school full time. Even if your kid does not do well in school, you can still afford to keep them in there. Whereas with financial aid, if you're in this university through financial aid, if you do not pass your classes, you do not get to, you can't afford to stay, because you have to pay for your classes out of pocket if you're not if you're not focused. So yeah, affirmative action really, I mean, they shouldn't have taken it down, but they did, and it's gonna suck. We'll see the repercussions of it, because education and it being a free market economy, it doesn't really work well. Some people need the guidance of being told how to do what they need to do. Mm-hmm. And some of these colleges, for them to be fair, the world isn't fair, but some of these colleges, for them to be fair, they need the guidance and rules and regulations that the government has put in place, so that way we could they could, appropriately integrate the schools and appropriately have a wide variety of people in one school, not just everybody from one background. So that's my take on that. Demaris, I wish you well on your next endeavors. I'm sure you're gonna get a job that pays you a ton of money, but
how old is he?
He's 50 something.
Is he in his 50s?
Yeah, 55, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now being 55 is not a death sentence.
No.
You're kind of young.
No, exactly.
You're kind of youngish.
Yeah, he's young, definitely.
Yeah, so good luck, man. But I don't agree to get rid of the Rooney Rule. They just need to fine-tune it a little bit more. Put some of your information in your memorandum in there. Make it a uniform agreement and understanding between owners and coaches that are looking for head coaching jobs, that are qualified to get these head coaching positions. They go out there, they go get these head coaching positions and see what they can do. You give them a 4-year contract, they don't perform within 4 years. Your team sucks enough to get the first draft pick, and your team is good. Hopefully your team has enough money and cap space to get a good coach so that they can get a good staff and build from there. A la the Sean McVays and, all the other young coaches. Mike McDaniels in Miami, Sean McVay with the Rams. They all look like they're doing well. They all look like they're going to do very well for themselves. So we'll see how it goes. Next topic on the list. Take out your phone. We got the Cameroonian Football League.
All right.
They're trying to go to Facebook Messenger.
I don't do Facebook on my phone.
Oh, you don't do Facebook on your phone. You're terrible. All right.
What's it called? What?
The Cameroonian Football League qualifications. Do you not want to be spied on? Is that what it is?
No, I just don't use it.
But you do use Facebook.
Yeah. No, time. All right. What are you trying to look for?
No, there was guidelines that they put in place. The ones that I remember were to have a team in the Cameroonian Premier Football League. You need to have a female team also. Okay. You need to have a female team, and you need to be able to pay your staff. You need to have, not just pay your staff. You need to have offices for your staff members. You need to have a physical therapy team. Mm-hmm. You need to have, there's a whole bunch of other things that they need to have, and that is just, it's nice that they're trying. Samuel Eto'o, Cameroonian great. Mm-hmm. He was great when he played soccer. They're trying to modernize the Premier League in Africa. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to price out a whole bunch of people that thought they could. but now they can't because the female teams don't bring in the continent of Africa, the female teams don't bring in that big of an audience.
You mean like here in America too?
No. The American squads get more of an audience. There's a TV audience, whereas there's a TV audience because there's contracts. The WNBA could get a contract from from ESPN and they play.
Okay.
I don't know if it's conjoined with the NBA's contract, but that's all in there. In the continent of Africa, it's very difficult. Very, very difficult for females to be watched playing sports. Because the respect like, you're not a dude, you can't do it as good as them. So the respect level is really, really low. So this is gonna price out a whole bunch of people that like wanna own teams in the continent of Africa and in Cameroon especially. It's gonna price them out. Because if you're not bringing in any money and the women's team are in the red, but the guys' team are in the green, and the guys' team have to subsidize the women's team, it's not gonna work.
Right.
It's gonna fold. So you need to have a lot of disposable income. But maybe here's what could happen. It's gonna bring rich investors from Europe or America into the Cameroonian Premier League, and they're gonna raise funds and probably get teams going that way because some of these female teams are gonna definitely be in the red. But I get what he's trying to do. I get what Samuel Eto's trying to do. He's trying to improve the quality of football, of soccer in the continent of Africa. And the best way to do it is to have a system in place where everybody is accounted for. Teams have staffs that take care of players. Teams have money to pay the players, boys and girls. Teams have facilities that are up to date and up to par. And it's doable, but it's gonna take a lot of money. And I hope that they're capable and able to do it. So it's gonna be interesting.
Dude, so quick fact. So Cotton Sport FC is the most recent champion. And
in Cameroon?
Yeah.
Okay.
They won their first title in 1997, and since then they've won 16 more championships.
They
since
probably,
1997.
they probably have the most money.
See, like, then it's how is it even fun? Like, how? I mean, that's like when you watch like the Scottish Premier League, right? So like, you have the Glasgow Rangers or the Glasgow Celtics or the Celtic. And it's literally those two teams for the past 100 years.
Well, that's why players are not clamoring to go to those leagues. Players are clamoring to go where there's money.
And they're like, and then the Celtic and the Ranger fans like go at it with each other, and it's like, dude, like literally, like your league sucks. It's just you two. Everybody else, and they have a lot of other teams, but what's the point of following them? Once in a blue moon, the other team, like one of the other like 10 teams, like wins a championship, and that's it.
Andrew. There's a lot of American football teams that suck for years and years and years, and they still have fans. That's why. It's love of the game.
Yeah, but like there's like literally very, very little variety in championships. You know.
No, for sure, but you have to have pride in your teams, right? For the longest time, the Buffalo Bills didn't make it to the playoffs. They changed coaches, quarterback. Organized administration, they changed.
But but it's easy to accept when you go, yeah, dude, our front office just sucks. Like we suck. We need to get smarter people in there. That's not just saying like, oh, the Kansas City Chiefs have just more money than everybody and they've won the past 17 championships. You know, like that would be a different league to like really live into. You know what I mean? Like,
but when it comes down to all these sports leagues, the team owners that have the most to spend on everything, those teams are usually quality teams.
Unless you're the New York Mets. Poor Steve Cohen.
Those teams, if you have money, you could invest in team facilities, make it the best. You can invest in nutrition, make it the best. You can invest in physical therapy, make it the best. You can invest in making sure the players get the best training facilities. You could make all that the best, so that way it attracts players outside to come and be like, oh, I want to go play in that facility because It's top notch. It's, one of the best, which is, that's what most people want to do. But if you don't have that, if you don't have the capital, it makes it super difficult. And it kind of drives any top notch player away. Like, nah, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go end my career there. I don't want to go play there. It's not important for me. I don't care. Some would even put the stipulation, I'd rather retire than go play over there. So, well, Samuelito, you got your work cut out for, maybe you don't have your work cut out for you because you have people that are ready to take the plunge with you, which is great. But most of the other teams, it's basically, gonna price out teams that can't afford to be there. It's gonna price them out, and owners can't afford to own teams anymore, because if you have a team that's constantly in the red, which might be the female teams, you can't afford to pay them if they're not bringing in the money. If you're not bringing in the cheddar, I can't give you back the cheddar. You heard? So things go crazy. But on to popular situations. Victor Wembenyama, the first round draft pick, first overall pick in this year's NBA draft 2023. He was walking out of a restaurant in Las Vegas, and Britney Spears tapped him on the shoulder. She's a fan. She wanted a picture. And Victor Wembanyama's security, which is, part of the Spurs security unit, the Spurs personnel, as Britney Spears tapped Victor Wembanyama on the shoulder, the security guard, I guess, teed off and backhanded Britney Spears. Accidentally. He didn't know who she was, because she hasn't been relevant in a long time, besides the crazy antics.
But, I mean, you couldn't even notice that it was also a woman?
Security don't care. If they're putting somebody, they think you're putting my guy's life in danger, my target's life in danger.
It's a tap on the shoulder?
It was a tap on the shoulder for a picture. That's what I heard.
So that immediately, his reaction to that is a backhand smack.
That's also what was reported.
Tap. He's about to play in the NBA, where 250-pound men are going to be like...
Andrew, that's different. You're aware of playing in a league and something's coming. You're aware of that. You're not aware of, you're walking down the street, you're not paying attention.
And somebody taps you on the shoulder.
Yeah, you're not aware of that. You're not prepared for that.
You're not aware of a tap on the shoulder.
You're not aware that it's coming. You're not thinking.
Yeah, that's why they're tapping you on the shoulder, because you're not aware that they're behind you. That's why they tap you on the shoulder.
Well, you gotta you gotta announce yourself from far away. That's what's happening.
What the fuck world we live in? She's literally doing this. Hey, buddy. Hey, I like you. You want to take a photo?
She didn't say that.
What she say?
I don't know, but they thought she was attacking him. Because, he's the first overall draft pick.
Oh, God.
Maybe she's trying to do something to that boy, Victor. And Victor was like, security, hell of that.
That's why I don't watch the news. This is fucking stupid.
It's not the news. It's TMZ. It's all gossip. It's fun times.
Stupid shit. Yeah, but like, you're going to backhand somebody just because they get... Like, okay, say it wasn't Britney Spears. Say it was just a 25-year-old guy who's like, oh, dude, I'm a big Spurs fan from San Antonio. And he's like living out, and he's just visiting Las Vegas. Wow, what a coincidence. My team just drafted this guy. Hey, man, can I get a photo? Whack.
No, they probably would have done him worse. Security guards.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
They probably would have put a knee to his back or something like that, man. They probably would have bent his elbow around, twisted a little bit,
Can you imagine if Shaq was playing, if he was playing in the era of Shaq, and Shaq would be like, oh, sorry, son, we all know how you can't take a tap on the shoulder. I'm gonna fucking
It's not him.
Box you out.
Victor was all right. It's his security.
Let's hope he's gonna be okay. Let's hope he doesn't end up on the IL for the next 3 months.
It's not Victor.
Thank God for the security guard.
Yeah, you gotta have security.
Jeez, thank God. Spurs' future was in doubt with that one.
He's a high-profile pick. You feel me? He's number 1 overall. You feel me? So yeah, protect your pick. Protect your investment. They protected their investment. That's what
their investment was in sheer danger of Britney Spears' tap on his shoulder.
Well,
holy cow, the NBA is soft now.
Charges were filed.
Yes.
And but evidently they dropped them. Britney Spears dropped them because the security went over to apologize. It couldn't have been a hard smack. It could have been like a love tap, maybe. So
I'm sure Britney Spears didn't mean nothing malicious about it.
No, well,
like,
for sure.
It was at a restaurant, right?
It was.
Is that a restaurant?
He was outside. He was leaving, and she was running from the restaurant, I guess, to tap him for a picture.
Fucking weird culture we live in now.
Maybe
Can't get a tap on the shoulder.
Victor will sign a bunch of merch for her and send it away.
like as if she needs any money.
No, it's just.
Oh, thanks for the merch.
Yeah. If she's a fan, yes, thanks for the merch. If she's not a fan, then.
I don't want a merch. I just want a fucking photo. Let me shake your hand. Say, hey man, nice to meet you.
Well, then maybe she'll get a photo in the future. A nice one. There you go. She can come over to meet him wherever he's at and let's take this picture, Victor. Let's do it. But on to White House news. So earlier in the week, there was white substance found on the White House, on the West Wing, where the president is. And Donald Trump was like, that might have been Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden's cocaine. Mm-hmm. And Kayleigh McEnany, Donald Trump's ex-press secretary, she was like, no, it couldn't have been because Hunter Biden hadn't been there in days before they found the cocaine. He hadn't been there, so it's somebody that needs to be stimulated. Wonder what's happening in the White House.
Yeah. Well, when you told me about this, because I didn't know anything until you said something to me earlier. Like, who reported that? Because usually if you find something in the White House and they see...
Who leaked it?
Yeah, who leaked that?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Because you would think, like, if something were to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Like, say, like, a good friend of yours did something and, like, you just don't want to get it out because you don't want to embarrass that person. Oh, crap, let's just pretend like this didn't happen. Whatever the case would be. Like, that would be something that along those lines. If you found cocaine, like, holy cow, guys, we better, like, get rid of this because we don't want this leaking out to the press. Like, nobody needs to know this. The fact that this got out.
Somebody was sloppy. Somebody wanted to put it out there.
Exactly.
Somebody wanted it out there. Somebody wanted
it planted? Was it planted? That's the question. Hey, man.
It may
planted?
Hey, it may have been planted. I don't know. I don't have any sources in the White House to say.
I don't either. I'm just saying. I don't believe everything I read.
But we'll see how it
We
goes.
live in a world where Brittany Spears taps someone on the shoulder and she gets whacked for it.
He whacked it crazy.
Fucking stupid.
She just can't breathe.
Poor
She's so excited.
What a life that girl's had. I mean, my heart goes out to her, dude. It really does. My heart goes out to Brittany Spears. She's had a hell of a life.
Well, she has definitely had a hell of a life.
She has.
She's lived a very crazy life. Pop, up, down. Well, it's all right, Brittany. Hopefully things work out for you in the future with you and Victor. Maybe get a picture, a nice one. And
I think she tours it. I think she doesn't she do a residency in Las Vegas now?
Definitely, probably. She has a residency over there. That's what most people do now. Usher has a residency over there.
Is he really? Usher?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna do that Yeah song with Lil Jon every day.
I don't think so. Usher has a lot more hit songs.
That's gotta be his number one hit.
It is not.
You don't think so? What's a bigger song than Yeah?
He had a song with Calvin Harris. Calvin Harris known around the world, not Lil Jon. Come on.
I haven't heard of it.
You're not in the know. You live in your cocoon. You do.
What are you talking about?
What I'm saying.
Oh, what's music?
You didn't hear about Usher and Calvin Harris?
No, because I don't know that song. Like, I live in a cocoon.
You do.
All right.
If you didn't, you would have heard it because it was a big hit. It was a huge one.
No, apparently. Go
I'll
ahead.
play it for you after the fact.
All right, we will.
Yeah.
I play it right now, but we don't have copyrights and we'll probably get in trouble. Even though no one's actually watching, so it's not like they were there.
It's not a live show. It's a tape delay show. It's a wonderful, wonderful situation.
Okay.
But that's all we got. That's all I got to say. You got anything to say?
I'm really gearing up for this coming week. It's considered the worst and most boring week in sports of the year. Because all we have is the baseball all-star. And then there's like 3 days of nothing. 3 or 4 days of nothing till baseball returns. So there's no basketball, there's no hockey, there's no football, there's no baseball. For like a solid 3 or 4 days.
I'm sure there's UFC.
Yeah,
You don't watch that stuff.
I mean, I'll watch it. It's all pay-per-view though.
No, there's prelim fights before that, so you could watch that stuff.
Yeah, I want to, you know, like I wish UFC was like a regular season playoffs championship format.
No, they do.
And then I'd probably get more into it.
They have other leagues that do that. Like,
See, every time I watch a fight, I just don't know if it means, like, what does this mean? Like,
they say what it means, Andrew.
do they?
Yeah.
In the beginning?
Yes, you're just not paying attention. It's written on
I think
there.
I'm not paying attention. I'm not watching. I'll probably catch up in the
No,
middle.
no, no. It says what they're fighting for. If it's, you know, a championship bout, it says that. If it's, you know, a contender, it says that. If it's whatever they're doing.
They need to do like cool fights. You know, like basketball would do like, they would have like college basketball did like what I think it was like North Carolina played some team on like on an aircraft carrier.
Okay,
or something.
okay, you want that?
What if like what if UFC did like a fight like on a volcano or something? Why? Like that'd be kind of dope, right?
On a dormant volcano, hopefully.
Dude, fucking awesome. Like do like Street Fighter kind of style, like obviously cool, like exotic like areas.
I don't think due to rules and regulations they can do that.
Yeah, probably not.
Because
can't find the octagon, you think?
but no, you could only.
You put the octagon like in the middle of the ocean, you know?
I don't think
Sharks or
no,
something.
I don't think you could do that.
Okay.
Because liability is a bitch. Nobody wants to get sued. Nobody wants to.
No waivers to sign?
I'm sure you can sign waivers, but no. I mean, no, I don't think people want to do that. But it'd be interesting.
It would be. It would be. But, you know, I'm just, but yeah, so I'm trying to mentally get ready for the most boring week of football or of my sports life. And then, but, you know, when I see you again next Saturday, that, you know, that week will be over with and there'll be, at least baseball will be good.
Nobody's
And
watching baseball between you and I. Just you.
Love baseball, it's the best. And then we're on the flip side, getting closer to football.
Yeah,
Do you watch college football?
I do a little bit. I used to a lot.
You really need to like. Can you try to like find a team that you can emotionally invest yourself with?
I don't want to.
Why not?
It hurts too much.
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
I don't want it to.
Why?
I don't want to care that much about football.
But you know a lot about football.
I do.
No, way more than I do.
I play lots of Madden. That's how come I know a lot about
I'm
football.
sorry, I still don't play Madden.
If you played Madden, funny story, I got my butt kicked on Madden. All day yesterday. I was pissed. I was emotionally depressed.
Were you really?
Yeah, it gets to you. Because you're just doing dumb things.
Do you have like, what team were you?
No, I made my own team.
Okay, what's your team
I play
called?
online. Plays foosball. That's my team.
It's called Plays Foosball?
Mhm.
That's your team. Okay.
That's my team.
It's not like Sierra Leone Lions or something?
No need.
Okay.
It's called Plays Foosball, and I play online against people on Xbox One, and sometimes I've won a couple of Super Bowls.
Did you? A couple championships?
Yeah. No, there's people that won like 18.
18? How do you win?
19, 20. They're crazy with it. They're just that good. They're undefeated every time they step on the ring. They just play total people. So you build your team, you can put all the legends on there.
Okay, I got you.
You can put Bo Jackson. My running back is Haloti Nata. That's my running back.
Okay.
Yeah, you could even have off-position players. So Haloti Nata is my running back, and my quarterback is Derrick Henry.
Do you still have the pass run option?
RPO, run pass.
You still have you taking that out in your league too?
No, I'm not taking it out. It's there. I don't use it often
Alright.
in this playbook that I have, but it's there.
Okay.
It's a tricky thing during the game because they can definitely pick you off quick, and it could always go to the house. But we've gone too far, and we've strayed too far. Today's episode is sponsored by 19 Strings for the Harp, and today's episode also sponsored by Final Cuts Media. After we're done here, I get to go to a wedding through Rock the Booth. Shouts out to Keo and Chris. Rock the Booth, rock the party. We do wedding events to get to know my surrounding areas, and I've gotten to know Rochester pretty well through this. I've gone to places that I would have never gone to. So shouts out to Rock the Booth, rock the party. And also, Mr. Press, the video, My Land. It's out on YouTube. It's out on YouTube. Check it out on YouTube through Final Cuts Media's YouTube page, and follow Final Cuts Media on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. And keep listening, keep sharing. Let's build together. Andrew?
Build.
Yes, build.
Don't have your security guard beating my ass. Tap you on the shoulder.
I might, man. I might. But I don't work for the Spurs organization, so I don't know that I can afford a security guard. That's it, Andrew.
Nice. Dude, I actually kind of like the rambling talk at the very end. That's actually kind of more fun.